Every ship needs a sailor, or who's going to row? Every note a mailer, each dead man a ghost. Go run tell your neighbors they're missing the show. Let in some volume, clap if we call you, dial up your folks, steady as she goes, tailor-made radio.
So you are a pretty special person, Josh.
You really have to figure it out like that.
That's how we're going to start this. You're very special, and people don't know it because you are behind the scenes. I mean, you're out there too. You're helping with moderating, and but you kind of help this all go smooth. All our Sunday showcases. You're our tech guy. You make everything look pretty. You make us pretty graphs so we know what the hell is happening with our numbers. It's great.
I can see that stuff for fun when I'm bored.
You know what?
Stuff.
I like seeing that stuff though. Being a social media person, it's fun to see the growth happen, and there's definitely been a lot of growth here for sure.
Yeah, like I don't even, like I said before, I don't really care how big the numbers are. I just like the numbers. I don't know.
You're a numbers guy.
Yeah, which is weird because I'm not good at math, which is why I always make graphs, like on the computer, because I've never been good at math. But, I mean, that kind of stuff is interesting, and it's been crazy how quickly we blew up. Like, I think I joined a day after Jake started, and it was me, Jake, Tyler, Bethy, and I think Elizabeth and Brian. And then, it was really, really small, like the second day, and then it just blew up to like where it was. I don't even know how many people we had in a week. And now
I think when I joined, it was like a week in, and by then there was, I think, about 20,000 people in it in just a week.
Yeah, I think so. And then it went from 20,000 like up really quick, and now we're at like I think 155,000.
Yeah, actually, I think it's like 157. It's 157 something.
Yeah, I haven't checked today too much. I mean, I've been on. I haven't been checking the count though. I mean, because like as we get bigger, it's been awesome and everything to grow. It's just with more people comes in like I guess more negativity sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the amount of positivity that we see like outweighs it all. Like we get one rude comment every once in a while, and
we delete that shit right quick.
Yeah, it's like, and the funny thing is like it's like some big deal when it's really not. I mean, obviously, don't be rude to people, but it's like everyone jumps on it because like it's so rare that someone's rude.
Yeah, people definitely what is the report comments, not a lot, but when something is done, it's dealt with right away.
Yeah, most of the time it's like a really it's a serious report.
Yeah.
And people just don't. I mean, one, people aren't really arguing in the group anyways, but two, like people don't just like report it because they disagree with it. It's offensive,
Yeah.
So I'm glad that people do that because we try to be as like vigilant as we can, and I'm glad that people are looking out for each other's too. Like a festival, like you should look out for everyone. See something, say something, like.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I love how quickly it's grown and how positive everyone is, and the wide variety of talents that are in the group.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, I love watching Glenn's sets and Eden and Case Gray, but then I watch, a lot of Anon and Jeremy, and there's a few other DJs that I watch now. And, like a lot of, I mean, I've always listened to a lot of music, but like some of this stuff is just even stuff like I haven't really listened to before. Not that I didn't know of it, but I'm like, wow, I never really,
You've never taken time.
yeah, I never really liked bluegrass, and now there's like a few bluegrass people that I listen to, and like Caroline Scruggs, you know, she plays different instruments, but then she plays a theremin, which I know what a theremin is, but she plays it so well, like, you know, I always think of it as like the sound of like a UFO in an old TV show or something. And she plays it, and it sounds like a harp. And that's like crazy. I didn't know that you could really do that with a theremin, you know?
It's super neat.
So yeah, it's really, really, really cool. And we're always like sending links back and forth. Like, have you seen this person? Have you seen them? You know, we want like everyone on a showcase, and then we're like, well, we don't have that many spots, and we tried that before.
But it's like, it's a good thing that's why we have a showcase every week, because eventually we'll get through them all.
I don't even know if we will. I mean, if we continue to grow, I think there will always be like more, not like more talented than the people before, but there will always be just in general more talented people, you know, and everyone is like super supportive, and like you could see, like, compare the first stream of someone, you know, the first time they ever went live on the SDF stage to now, and like they actually have like production, and like Finn Phoenix that played on the showcase this past weekend, you know, was able to like raise money to like get gear to play with.
That's so amazing. And he's what? He's 9, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't look like, you know, a 9-year-old on some, you know, digital camera. It looks good because he puts the effort into it. And like, you know, not everyone can like donate and everything, and that's fine. But like he's putting, you know, whatever is donated back into his passion, you know.
Yeah, he's going places, that kid.
Yeah, he's so funny the whole time on the showcase. After every song, he'd be like, "Dad,"
yeah,
calling him over. It's so cute. Like, and that's the kind of stuff you see. Like, you'll see that kind of stuff in viral videos all the time, and that's just like an everyday thing here.
And you know what? Yeah, that's the thing. There's been a lot of videos that have actually, you know, gone viral. That I forget the 2 older ladies, and they were dressed up. How many views do they have now?
I don't know on our page alone. I know that they had at least, because they uploaded it to our page first. They went live and played it on our page first, and then I think they re-recorded it for their YouTube and a few other things.
Oh, okay.
But on our page, it got tens of thousands of views. Like and this was like a month ago. That was like one of the earlier sets, you know. And it got tens of thousands of views alone on the page when we had really small numbers. And then it got that many like shares, like that many people shared the video. It had like 41K shares. If I could probably find it right now, but like, you know, if someone shares it, like there's some people that will never see it, but then someone could share it and 10 people could see it.
Yeah. So true.
How many people watched that specific video, but it was a lot, and like grateful. I mean, it's just 2 older ladies that are sisters, and you know, they wrote a funny song about this whole thing, this whole situation, and it, like, you know, it blew up, and they didn't mean for it to.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the thing, though. It's like what happened with SDF, when you just when there's no expectation or goal of things blowing up, but you're just kind of going with the flow and just doing what feels right. That's when things, you know, align and start to blow up, because there really was no plan for SDF except Jacob wanted to put on shows with his friends.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
And we've never really planned for growth anyways. Like, not that we don't plan ahead, but like whenever we're thinking about doing stuff for the group, we don't think about it like, how can this make the group bigger or bring us more numbers or whatever. We think about, you know, what would make the most people happy, not satisfying everyone, but like, you know, we don't want to bring in members and then forget about the people that are in the group just to go bring in more people. You know, we're active with everyone, whether you're new to the group or not, like, you know, we welcome new members, like, you know, we want new members, but we don't, that's not our only goal, you know. That's just kind of a byproduct of what's happening. And I really like that, because we're never about like growing, we're about sustaining.
Yeah.
How can we keep this running smoothly, and, you know, where it's still helping people, people are still having fun, people are still meeting everyone, like, you know, we just want to stay with the original goals, and the original goal was never like get 150,000 members in a little over a month.
Man, that's so wild. And you know Jacob, the creator of SDF, and that's how you got involved with this.
Yeah, so I live in Canton, Georgia. I was born in Atlanta, but I live in Canton now. And my girlfriend Mia works at a restaurant, and Jake and Bethy are her coworkers. And so, you know, I've known them for years, and like we've seen each other at, like, you know, what do you call it? Like company, like Christmas parties and stuff like that. We were at Friendsgiving. I can't talk. Friendsgiving last year with them. And so when I saw, like, you know, I saw Jake post about, you know, because like Canton's, it's not super small town. Like there's a good amount of people here, and it's good, you know, it's spread out, but a lot of people know each other. So like, when I saw him posting about that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder who, you know, who started that. And I'm like, oh, that's Jake. Like I just saw him the other day. That's so awesome. And so I started talking to Tyler about it. And, you know, originally I was like, just, you know, this is awesome. Like, I love what you guys are doing. If you ever need any tips or anything, I'm willing to help out. And then Tyler writes back, he's like, I'm telling Jake now, we need you to come help us. Aww. We're like, we don't care what you do, we just need you to help. I'm like, okay, figure it out. And so that's like kind of how it started, which, you know, it was only a day old at that point.
Yeah.
So it was still like, you know, not much had been done, but then everyone kind of joined in on like the original admin team, and like we pretty much laid like the framework of it all in like a week. You know, like after our first showcase, we like spent that whole first week focusing on the first showcase. And the showcase went well enough, but we did it for 12 hours, and it was a lot of work. And the way we did it, the way that we did it originally was way more like inefficient than the way we do it now. Like, so it was good because all the performers got a good amount of views, like, and we weren't even nearly at the level that we are now. But then after that first showcase, we spent that, like, I guess technically the second week laying the framework of everything, like how we want things to run, and like only allowing live posts so that, you know, people aren't just sharing, you know, posts from other pages left and right. Because like early on, before we turned on post approvals, we would get like one Ellen DeGeneres viral video shared after another, and it was
I think we still get that one.
Yeah, we still do, and it was always Ellen DeGeneres, and it's like from, you know, a different group every time saying like, Ellen's giving you $50,000, and we're like, no,
she's not.
And it's like, we can see those videos already on our timeline. You know, we wanted to make a space where people can like perform live, you know, and not just, here's a song I wrote 2 years ago.
Yeah, here's my SoundCloud.
Here's me singing the song that I wrote 2 years ago, like right now, you know. So and so it was like, you know, a lot of figuring out how we wanted to run things, and then from there it's just like, how can we make it better?
Yeah, because everything, even with the showcase, it changes every week, and not changes in a way that people would notice, but on the back end, you know, whether it's a graphic or where it's being posted or how it's being shared, or there's always little changes here and there, just trying to make it a better experience for everyone. And I know there's, I mean, obviously with 150,000 people in a group, the approvals are constant. There is always somebody wanting to post, and the fact that everyone still takes their time to look at each one. And even if there's a question, you know, there'll be like 2-3 people behind the scenes trying to figure out, okay, does anybody have an answer to this? Can we help them? I think that's really neat.
Yeah, and that's one fun thing for me is that, like, you know, they kind of brought me on to do the showcase and that kind of stuff, like figuring out streaming and all that, and OBS and stuff like that, which I ended up passing on to you.
Yeah, and now you help me with mine.
Yeah, but like, you know, I went to school for a little bit for computer science, but I, you know, didn't do this as a job. Like, I was an Uber driver before this, you know. Which I love doing, by the way. Uber is awesome in Atlanta because everyone is super nice, and I like driving around a cool city.
You get to meet new people all of the time.
So this, even though as much as I miss like driving around every day, I know that's bad for the environment, but that was my job, and it was fun. As much as I miss that, this has kind of replaced that same feeling. Like, it's a cool experience where I'm meeting someone new every day. You know?
Yeah.
So as much as I miss working and I can't wait to go back, whether I'm doing Uber or not, like, I'm able to find the values that I look for, like, in this situation. In SDF.
How cool would it be if we, I mean, it's going to happen. I see it. But like, how cool is it going to be when we can all get together, but then also possibly have like a real live festival?
I would love to, but honestly, thinking about it, I would love to do it where we don't plan it as much as the stuff that we do now to plan. You know,
it'll be more planning.
Yeah, I mean, because we're doing so much for this now, and I love that we are. But if we want, you know, if that ever happens in real life, I hope it's like, hey, we all want to hang out. Let's go hang out at Jake's house. You know, all the people that live nearby that want to come hang out, and then, you know, hopefully it'll just start from there, like, spontaneously.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
And not break any laws or anything either, but, you know.
Yeah, maybe a couple.
Just like this, you know, if we were to do it in real life, we wouldn't want to do it like a regular festival. We wouldn't want to charge everyone. You know, we want it to be like everyone's hanging out, performing for each other, but no one is, you know, you don't have to pay for it. You just donate if you want to. Yeah.
It's like a pay what you can sort of thing, which is a really good system. Because, I like that.
I mean, not everyone will pay, but then some people, you know, will donate, like, to make up for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But if people aren't donating, they're still sharing, like, you know, support and love. And I know you can't pay the bills with love and support, but I mean, it's the best that you can do right now.
Yeah. And you know what? Things really do just work out in the end, as cliche as it sounds. You know, when you go in with something with a good intention and, you know, when it's aligns within your purpose and your passion, I believe just things just work out. You know, if you were to do it that way, where it's pay what you can, and like you said, some people may not pay anything, but somebody may walk in there with hundreds of or thousands of dollars that see the value in it and drop it down, and then, you know, you're good.
And even if they don't, you know, that's not even really the end goal of it ever.
Yeah.
It's, you know, if money comes from it, that's nice, but like the goal of it is just to help people and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, you know, some people want it. We don't allow like politics and stuff like that and hard subjects on the, you know, the group. And it's not because we're like some, you know, gods of false positivity or anything. It's that you spend, I mean, we do too, but we spend all of our days, you know, that we're not working on SDF, dealing with the real world and everything that's going on and the negativity. And it's, you know, because it's real. This is all happening.
Yeah.
And so when people come onto the group, it's not that we don't acknowledge that stuff isn't real. It's just that that's not, you know, what this is for. Like, we want people to be happy and positive here, and like, you know, They get
that shit enough out there. They don't need it here.
Yeah, too. Exactly. Like, this isn't the place for it because, like, you know, you're never going to be able to cope with it if you only think negatively about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not ignoring your problems, but you find ways to cope with them in a healthy way. And I feel like, you know, music and communication and like all that stuff is a positive way to handle a lot of situations, you know, a lot of things that are bothering people, and whether it's like mental issues or financial issues or whatever, you know, if you can't fix the root of the problem, if you can't make money appear out of thin air and you're trying your hardest, you know, you have to find your like I wouldn't say self-worth, but like satisfaction.
Yeah.
In other things, you know, that aren't tangible, I guess.
Yeah, it's a huge
I don't know if that made any sense. Or
no, it made sense because so many people are experiencing it right now. You know, we have our security of jobs and money, and that kind of defines us over time. And then all of that is just gone. So you're kind of forced to like look at yourself as like, okay, well, who am I now outside of this? Who am I if I don't have that job? Who am I if I'm not making that money? And it's scary because we don't have that security, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience at the end of it. And
yeah, and that's the other thing is like, you know, when we first started this and like it started growing really quick, people thought of it as a way of like that we are trying to take advantage of a situation or something like that. But it was like thinking about it, it's like, you know, why are you doing this just now? It's like, why didn't we do this before?
Yeah.
Why didn't we have a virtual, like, whether it's not a music festival, like a virtual group for every, like, are these artists to like talk to each other? I know that there are some out there, and we weren't the first ones to do it, but it's like, why is this not a thing that everyone is doing?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's sorry, go on.
And it's because, well, what I was going to say is it's because you're so busy in your everyday life with everything else, you forget about those kinds of things like the passion and the hobbies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how it comes back to now is like people think that, not a lot of people, you know, we just saw it a few times and it's like, why are you doing this now? And it's like, well, because we have nothing else to do.
And why not?
Yeah, why not?
Like we're adapting and innovating with our surroundings right now, and maybe those people should try it out.
Yeah, I mean, and either that or just like the way things are run, but it's like we're trying to do it to the best of our ability, and we want people to be happy while they're doing it, you know, while they're either here watching performers or performing themselves. Like, you know, we do things for a reason. We do them for a reason. You'll have to edit this a little bit, but
no, it's gotta be real and raw. Okay.
We do things in the group for a reason.
Yeah.
To make sure that everyone's having like as positive an experience. So, you know, someone's live post where they're sitting there performing live for people isn't being overshadowed by some, you know, performance of you know, John Mayer or something, or that silly video. I censor myself. The video of like the celebrity singing "Imagine" that was making the rounds.
Oh yeah.
That got shared so many times in the beginning. It's like no one wants to see that though.
Yeah, we know those people. We've seen that.
Those aren't working class musicians and performers and artists. Those are, I mean, yeah, they're working hard, but they're millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah, they're okay right now.
It's like I'd rather listen to someone sing "Creep" by Radiohead 50 times a day in our group
because it's the most requested song out there.
Than be preached to by someone sitting in like a $5 million mansion, you know, say like singing some heartfelt song or whatever. It's like, well, you know, you're not really feeling the same thing that these people are. And that's why you're just trying to make a quick viral video for YouTube. To make it seem like you look good when people here aren't trying to like find.
They're just playing. They're just being them.
Yeah, they're just playing, and they're here to support each other and to find support, not to get big, but
But I
I
mean,
can see
man,
that happening.
yeah,
I can see that happening
for a lot of people.
it's gonna be so cool to see what happens for a lot of these people in this group after this. Like,
yeah, and I hope that whatever comes of it, is like positive.
Yeah.
Because like I have no doubt, like I don't know for sure, but there's got to be someone somewhere in the group just hanging out, just lurking, that has connection.
Yeah.
And wants to help like a performer out, because they see like a potential in them, and not in a potential like for financial gain, but like they just want to help them out.
Yeah.
To perfect their craft.
That's so true.
So I hope
that someone like that is out there that has connections that can use them to help people out more than we can.
Well, and I think there's such a huge opportunity for networking, because even like the one person I interviewed, of course I forget his name right now and I feel like an asshole. It's not even there. He worked on the Modern Family set. He was a director there, and the dude has some amazing connections, and I can only imagine some of the connections that other people have in the group. And it doesn't even have to be a big person. I'm sure somebody that could help somebody else in some way. Like, we all have something that we need together, and
and there's something that everyone can offer someone else, and we don't have to always exchange money for it.
Exactly. Oh man, I'm loving this trading system right now.
Like everything that I have done for SDF, every program that I've used, everything has been a free program, not a pirate program. Free program.
You're doing some illegal shit over there.
Way to use an open source project that I can use for anything, for obviously commercial purposes or whatever. But I'm not going to pay $20-$30 for some streaming software when I have OBS, and it works perfectly fine, and it works great actually, and it's flexible, and it's I'm not going to pay for Microsoft Office if I have our Google Drive and stuff like that.
and
it's like that with everything else. Like, people can offer each other little bits of help for free. Like, you don't have to go over and like cut someone's lawn, teach them how to cut the lawn a little bit, and they'll be able to do it on their own. And so people are like relying on each other more, but also learning how to rely on themselves more.
Much more independent now.
Like, I've seen so many older people who stream in the group who are like, I had no interest in technology before, and I learned how to do it just so I can be here, just so I can play for people and have people, still have that feeling of like an audience there watching and enjoying what I'm doing. And they're like, I learned how to stream on Facebook, and we get a lot of questions all the time, but people are actually trying, and that's what's really cool.
Yeah, that is true.
So many people are trying new things right now, and if you can't do the old things that you did, you learn new stuff. You
absolutely can teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, you just have to be willing to learn, and and if you're not willing to learn, at least be willing to accept help from people.
Well, and also be willing to accept other people's choices and paths in this in this time too, and
exactly. I mean, if we, like I said earlier, we rarely see something that's rude, but when we do, it's usually like, it's someone that is genuinely happy. You see them on screen who looks like they're genuinely happy. You don't know who underneath it. But they are expressing themselves, and they look happy, and they, are being active, and all these things, and that makes some people mad. And people will they could not have anything personal against that person, but still attack them because they see that person being happy. And, if what they're doing isn't hurting someone and it's making them happy and making others happy, leave them alone.
There is this weird line between people now, because you know, there's people who are really struggling with this transition, which is completely understandable. Your whole world has been turned upside down. And then there's the other people who are like, you know, they felt it. They're like, all right, this is really shitty. I'm going to cry about this for a minute. But then it start to adapt and innovate. Like, what am I going to do now? How can I do better? What can I learn? And, you know, even myself, I experience it from some people where, you know, you're doing something and you still seem happy. And people are like, how can you be happy right now? What is happy about this? And it's just like, I'm just going with what I have. And it's worse to sit there and be miserable than it is to just do something about it.
Yeah, and that's definitely like how I see it too, is like, you know, you can't always control, you know, your brain or how you feel or everything. You know, you can't just will anxiety and depression away and everything.
Yeah.
But you can find something that at least makes yourself a little happy in the moment, and then choose how you spend your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the way things were going before were upsetting to you and didn't favor you and everything, you can make, to the best of your ability, like a new reality.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to accept that you're that person with depression or anxiety and then just, you know, deal with it. You can accept that you have that and then find some way to improve upon that. And I think that's like really helping people. I mean, we see messages every day that we wish we could like post everywhere about like, you know, thank you for helping me. Like, I've been depressed or anxious. I've got cabin fever. This helps me every single day. It cheers me up to see all these different people happy. And, you know, I am really glad to be a part of that, because even though like I strive in what we're working on right now, like I struggle in everyday life. Like, and I mean, everyone struggles. Everyone's struggling right now, but there's a lot of things that I struggle with that I don't struggle with when I'm working on SDF, you know? And I think that's because of how supportive of an environment it is, how passionate I am about it, that like I'm able to stay focused on something. I'm able to get stuff done. I'm able to like, you know, joke around with people and have fun
and stay motivated.
And stay motivated too, like not slacking off, not trying to find an excuse not to do something. You know, all these things that I have trouble with in like everyday life back in the normal times, you know, I don't struggle with now. So all I have to think about now is how I can apply the stuff, you know, back into when things go back. Things aren't going to go back to normal.
Yeah, no.
Things change again. How to move forward with what I'm learning now and what I'm striving with now.
Yeah. So you could have a whole new career option out there for you now with this.
Exactly.
So much.
And before, like, I didn't even think about what I wanted to do. You know, I mean, I did, like, I wanted to do something, but it's like, well, what?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't have to be one thing.
Yeah, no. I would go crazy if that was the case.
I help out with everything. And so, you know, I just got to find a way to apply that to, quote unquote, the real world and capitalism and everything.
Yeah. Aw. Well, we have, I had my prompt show up here. We got 4 minutes. So what else do you want to share with us before we go? Whether it's, actually first, I want to ask, this is going to be really hard. Maybe I shouldn't even ask this, but I'm going to anyway. The top 3 performances, maybe not, you know, top 3 artists, but maybe top 3 performances you've seen so far.
The top 3, that is going to be really, really hard.
I know, because you've seen them all, you know, almost.
There's a guy that I really, really like. His name is Travis Bowman, who has a harp guitar. So it's like, I can't remember if it's a 6-string or 8-string or 12-string, but it's like, you know, a normal-ish guitar on the bottom, and then an extra arm that has like almost harp strings. Like it doesn't have frets, you just plug the string. And I've seen him maybe 2 or 3 times in the group. He's not in here a lot, but every time that's who I tune into. It's Travis Bowman because of that guitar. it's so cool. It sounds so good. He plays it so well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen him. I'm thinking of somebody in my head, but I don't know if it's him. It might be him because he has been in there a few times.
I'll link you to him later on.
Yeah.
To see. I'll hurry up because I know you got time.
Yep.
All of the Non's performances I tune into are great, especially because he's so, interactive with people, and like I'll ask him questions about music theory and about the sitar, and he'll answer while playing, keep playing. And he's like, that's a good question. Like, he's a good performer and educator.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
And it's so, I mean, honestly, like, it's not even a real top three. These are just like the first three that come to mind.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do. There's someone just and then every other non-traditional performer, I guess.
Which there's a lot in there.
There's a lot.
So many new things.
The one-man bands that are like doing it all by themselves, and the people who spin, and the people who dance, and the people who play pan flute, and the people who play violin, over electronic music, and not just in the classical sense, and just everyone that's not, which is, it's okay to go sit on your bed with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I'm glad that all these other people are getting, recognition too, because before they might not be like mainstream enough to have some sort of, but it's like, no, they're interesting. They change it up. Like Jeremy might be a DJ, but he switches it up every time.
Yeah, it's a new genre every time.
A new genre, new road, new setting, like new background. He's on his roof. He's in the trunk of his car. It's Christmas. He's making pancakes. And there's so many people that do that put that much effort into it.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to, but I'm glad they do. Like, so they make everything interesting.
And you know what? It's funny because you put that kind of much detail and time into it or something. And I mean, Jeremy is great, but even if your music wasn't that great, the fact that you put this time in and it's entertaining, it's like, it's an entire show now that you've just created.
Exactly. And the best thing is like, even if you don't like the type of music that Jeremy is playing, that he's DJing, you can tell that he put this much effort into everything else, and he's putting effort into actually mixing.
He embroidered a robe to say SDF. That's dedication.
That is dedication, which,
Yes, everybody, we have new shirts. Josh here is sporting one right now.
Yeah. It's definitely really nice. It's comfy, and the printing is really good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not biased or anything.
Go run, tell your neighbors they're missing the show. Let in some volume, clap if we call you.